Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, Rahul Gandhi has made Save Samvidhan a pitch and this has been the recurring theme of his political rallies and public meetings. At numerous Congress events, you would have seen Rahul Gandhi holding up a red constitution copy while vowing to stand as savior of the constitution and democracy. But his Nyay Ka Adhikar rally in Nagpur is now at the center of a political controversy, with the BJP claiming that copies of the constitution distributed at the event were actually blank diaries with just the red Constitution of India cover on it. Maharashtra BJP has shared two videos from Nagpur Congress event. While one video has shown Rahul carrying a small red constitution book at stage, the other shows the diary titled Constitution of India with blank pages inside, which was apparently distributed to others. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis called out Congress's notebook bluff, saying that Congress was using a red book to seek help from urban Naxals. Union Minister Rijiju slammed Rahul Gandhi for insulting the constitution and its architect, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
भारताच्या संविधानाबद्दल राहुल गांधींची जी अनास्था काल पाहायला मिळाली आणि मी परवा जो आरोप केला होता तो खरा ठरला. ते लाल पुस्तक घेऊन या ठिकाणी संविधानाचा गौरव करू इच्छित नाही, तर त्यांच्या सोबत असलेले जे अर्बन नक्षल आहेत, त्यांच्या सोबत असलेले जे अनार्किस्ट आहेत, यांना एक प्रकारचा इशारा देण्याकरता किंवा त्यांची मदत घेण्याकरता भारतरत्न डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकरांचा अपमान केला, संविधानाचा अपमान केला. आता त्यांच्या या नौटंकीला कोणीच भूलणार नाही.
संविधान को हाथ में पकड़ने से कुछ नहीं होता है. संविधान के अंदर में जो स्पिरिट है उसको समझना होगा. इसलिए नागपुर में नीला रंग का छोड़ करके लाल रंग में संविधान का कवर पिक्चर डाल करके राहुल गांधी ने नकली संविधान बांटने का काम किया. कवर लगाया, कवर के नीचे में कुछ नहीं था, मुझे बताया गया है, वो कोरा कागज थे.
Meanwhile, Congress has reacted sharply to BJP and particularly Fadnavis's charge that Rahul was trying to seek support from urban Naxals. Pawan Khera took a jibe at Maharashtra Deputy CM and asked, did Fadnavis see the color of the constitution as he took a secret oath in 2019? Other Congress leaders have alleged that BJP and RSS have a history of being anti-constitutional.
The same people who opposed the Constitution of India for several decades, these are the same people who do not have even an iota of respect for the Constitution. And they are coming and saying this to us. These are the people who during the Lok Sabha election said that they will change the Constitution. We will not allow them to touch the Constitution.
Right-wingers all over the world, and in India particular, they don't read and write. They believe in regressive policy. How come if the constitution book is red and white and whatever it is, matter is content.
भाजपा को अंबेडकर जी की संविधान लाल झंडे की तरह लगता है. उसको नफरत करते हैं, उसको देखना नहीं चाहते, वो अपनी नजर से हटाना चाहते हैं. अगर हल्लाल रंग अर्बन नक्सलाइट है तो क्या बजरंग बली भी है? उनकी लंगोट भी अर्बन नक्सलाइट की होगी.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
We're seeing this across to our guest. Now joining us is Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of BJP. Sujata Pandey, political analyst, is with us. Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate, is joining us. Also with us is Akhilesh Katia, national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. But my first question to Advocate Kapil Madan. Kapil Madan, what's the idea of putting out a book of a constitution with blank pages in it? What is the idea? What could possibly be the thought behind it? Please explain to us.
Now, Madhav, one thing, let's be very clear. I mean, you want to start your debate by saying this as a gospel truth that there was some blank pages in the Constitution. So, let's first understand and, verify whether it is factually correct or not.
Is it a wrong report, sir? Please tell us. If you're welcome to deny it. I'm not saying it's the gospel truth. If it's wrong, please say it's wrong. We'll ask the others. We'll ask the other side. There's no issue.
No. Now, Madhav, you will have to verify, from the people who were there in the event to whether to say whether this is factually correct or whether this is factually incorrect. But there could also be a possibility that sometimes, these kind of, political issues are made for the heck of it, for making a political conspiracy. And, let's leave a political, connotation of this
My
issue
dear
aside.
sir, one second, Kapil, let me, just allow me 30 seconds. The Deputy Chief Minister of the state has made an allegation. These allegations are out on social media for over half a dozen hours. Now, with all the resources that the political parties like Congress, NCP, etc. have, I'm sure by now they would have either found out if it's truth or false, and they're welcome to take legal action. We are not in any way certifying what Mr. Fadnavis has said as the gospel truth. But if it is true, my simple question is to you, what is the logic behind it? That's all I'm asking you.
So, yes, let me just give you a counter here. We have seen people from the BJP, including the Honorable Prime Minister, making statement against, Mr. Manmohan Singh, whether that was factually correct or that was factually not correct. So you have several instances where, the political leaders have made statement which they themselves cannot, verify or prove. So, let's leave these political issues aside and, you should talk about substance. The substance is, I hear Himanta Biswa Sharma, their Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, he was raking up controversy that, the book that, Rahul Gandhi had in his hand had a red binding, and the original Constitution of India had a blue bind, the cover of the book. So let me just, tell our viewers very, very clearly that our Constitution of India does not, prescribe what would be the color of the book bind in which that Constitution of India will be printed. That's number one. That's point number one.
Quickly make your point, please. Yeah.
Yes. Point number two is our Article 14 does not discriminate, against, there is an equality amongst, everyone here. So once you don't have any, tangible issues to debate on, then you will talk about caste, then you will talk about color, or, the book had red color, the book should have,
Kapil, that's a very
color.
generic line of
This is a
argument. Let me bring in
non-issue.
Sanju on the
This is a
2 points that you have made. Sanju Verma, is it 100% accurate or true that there were indeed blank pages at that Congress rally? That is the first question coming from Kapil Madan. And second question is that there is no prescribed color code. So, referring to the red constitution and linking it to urban Naxals, is that really a fair line of argument or accusation coming in from the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Fadnavis? Please respond.
Madhav, Kapil Madan is a reasonably sane guy and he knows his stuff. But today he is defending the indefensible, and I could see he had no coherent argument to your pointed questions. First and foremost, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has categorically said that a book with a red cover pretending to be the Constitution of India was distributed at that rally, and there are social media posts which have gone viral that actually it was meant to fool the janta that had gathered there, because wo constitution ki kitab thi hi nahi. It was filled with blank pages. That's a charade. And this kind of a charade needs to be called out for what it is. Point number one. Point number two, this is not about the BJP. The Congress has gone and shot itself on the foot. And today, in a bid to digress and deflect, Kapil Madan is saying, Article 14 versus 15 versus red versus blue versus blah, blah, blah. The limited point is this. Rahul Gandhi, at every given opportunity, screams from every available rooftop, including the floor of the parliament, waving that red Samvidhan ki kitab, and says, Samvidhan khatre mein hai, Loktantra khatre mein hai, Ganatantra khatre mein hai. The Modi government is trying to crush India's democracy and its democratic ethos. I want to just tell your audience very quickly, the first amendment was brought in by Pandit Nehru to the Constitution, the first amendment. So don't sit here and lecture the BJP. The 42nd amendment, in a bid to curb the power of judicial review of courts, was brought in by none other than Indira Gandhi in 1976. And it was Indira Gandhi who added those two words, secular and socialist. And because of that addition of the word secular, today we see pseudo-seculars running riot and engaging in brazen Hindu phobia under the garb of secularism. It was Rajiv Gandhi who tried to bring in the anti-defamation bill. Thank God it did not pass muster. It was again the Congress which wanted to bring in the communal violence bill to nail Hindus in 2013. Thank God you lost the Lok Sabha elections in 2014 and you're still sitting in opposition benches. My last point is this. For the first 54 years out of 67 years in post-independent India, it was Congress which ruled. But in those 54 years, more than 587 ordinances were passed, which means every year almost 11 ordinances were passed by the Congress, flouting every parliamentary norm. So यहाँ बैठकर बीजेपी को भाषण मत दीजिए. The last point is also this: you used Article 356 to dismiss more than 102
President's rule, yes.
newly elected state governments.
Let me put that question across to Sanjay Hegde. Sanjay Hegde, from emergency to misusing President's rule, the Congress's own track record in misusing the Constitution is very well known, says the BJP, and therefore, you know, it's a bit rich when these kind of incidents come, which they believe exposes the Congress's own track record and commitment towards the Constitution. Please respond to the BJP spokesperson.
Whether it's the Congress or the BJP, both of them think that the Constitution is just a book. The Constitution is something much bigger than that. It is basically a compact between citizen and citizen, between the citizen and the government. Whatever is my right is also your right. The fundamental rights are what scare people who think that citizens have only duties. The fundamental rights and the magnificent constitution that Dr. Ambedkar and the rest gave us is totally opposed to a bunch of thoughts or the Manusmriti. Now, don't go by the color of the book. I have a little red book out here. You know what it is?
Tell us.
You turn it around. It is the Hanuman Chalisa, the Vikram Seth version. So don't ever go by the color of the book. Then here is the Constitution, the book that I carry in my pocket all the time. That's because I use it. In fact, it was because I used to carry a copy of the Constitution in my pocket, especially when I was assisting my boss, who was the Attorney General at that point of time, that somebody noticed. And that person had contacts with the Eastern Book Company, and he said, let's have a coat pocket version. And that's how this coat pocket version came out. Now, the third thing I'd like to tell you is that if you check up on
that
Amazon,
is your contribution to Rahul Gandhi, on a lighter note.
No, I don't claim that. This is an entire accident.
Just on a lighter note, Sanjay.
On a lighter note. But on a lighter note, let me tell you what I think has happened. You check up on Amazon, this thing costs now 895 rupees. So somebody obviously tried to save money. So it's okay, you have something which symbolizes the Constitution. The actual book may be carried by the leader. The others, for the visual, may have brought in a prop. I don't know. So I think we're doing a mountain of a molehill. It's like, you know, the way the BJP distributes Mr. Modi's masks. Those masks are what, 5 rupees worth, 10 rupees worth.
I think there is a little bit. I kind of disagree with you there. I mean, there can be masks of Rahul and other leaders also, but you know, at the end of the day, if there is a sanctity with the Constitution, then it has to be treated with some amount of sanctity. Wouldn't you agree, Sanjay?
Madhav, the book of the Constitution is not less sanctified if it costs less. Or not
if it costs less. If you have the cover face of a book which says Constitution and the preamble inside, and then all the pages are blank, and if that is indeed true, it raises some serious questions of propriety, does it not?
So if you say that, look, I want to carry something that looks like the Constitution book, which Rahul Gandhi carries, so what? I don't see anything particularly wrong in that. And having a blank notebook on which people can write, people can keep their thoughts about the Constitution is equally a valid way. So this is much brouhaha about nothing. And one last point, I think Kapil is absolutely right. It is the content of the Constitution that matters. It is that content which the idea of equality which the Constitution carries, which threatens the idea that is currently being published everywhere, that there are better Indians, there are more virtuous Indians, and the rest of you just shut your mouths.
Okay. Let me bring in fact, Sujata Pandey. And Sujata Pandey, simple question over here. Sanjay Hegde sees nothing wrong if there is such a thing that has taken place. He says perhaps it's just an attempt at reaching out, the message of the Constitution to the people. It's the spirit of the Constitution of equality that is more important. Please respond to him.
Well, Madhav, I'm appalled by the arguments given by the Congress supporters. So I can sum up in two lines. You know, खाली किताब नहीं थी, खाली दलीलें भी आज इस डिबेट पे सुनने को मिल रही हैं. Because how can two lawyers defend saying that a notebook which was written, the Constitution of India is empty? They're talking about content. Content तो था ही नहीं, it was a blank notebook but which was circulated and it was touted as the Constitution of India. So have some sanctity, have some respect for the holy book of our country, which is the Constitution of India, which Rahul Gandhi swears by, which governs our daily life, which governs the laws of this country. So I think ye nahi hai. But the way I see it, Madhav, I see it as an entitlement. This is the same Congress party which said Indra is India and India is Indra. So the same Congress party will say hua to hua, Constitution nahi to khali book sahi, kya farak padta hai? It is the same mindset, Madhav, which is shown by distributing the empty pages of a notebook and they are calling it as constitution. They are saying Rahul Gandhi के जो के हाथ में जो है उसमें content था, लेकिन जो distribute हुआ उसमें content नहीं था. That means, are you fooling people? Have you been fooling? Today the fact is Rahul Gandhi stands exposed. He is exposed because people in Haryana knew and they have shown by putting their faith in BJP and others that ये constitution का drama बहुत हो गया. काट की हांडी बार-बार नहीं चढ़ती. You can't fool everybody over and over again by going through the same rhetoric. When people know that you are the party who has changed constitution 80 plus times, you did not even spare the soul of the constitution, which is preamble of India, and you use it to just gain your political mileage, nothing else, your political vote banks, nothing else. You are the party who imposed emergency on this country, and you are the party who said कि एक बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो लोग हटते हैं. तो यहाँ पे लोगों की भी फिक्र नहीं है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की भी फिक्र नहीं है, and you stand exposed. Rahul Gandhi stands exposed. And I tell you one more thing. You know, people of Haryana has showed this, and Maharashtra will be wiser to reject the Congress agenda. You know why? Because people of Maharashtra are for development. They do not want an alliance which is against development. They opposed metro. They opposed coastal road. They opposed the Atal Setu. They opposed all the bullet trains. Anything which develops, which is for the development, for the infrastructure, the MVA opposes it. Rahul Gandhi opposes it because the contract went to Adani, not Robert Vadra. The contract went to Adani, not DLF. Perhaps that is the whole thing. That is why in their manifesto they are saying they'll scrap the Dharavi redevelopment project. Why? Rahul Gandhi should live in a bungalow and people of Dharavi should live in a 7 by 8
all right. I think we're veering off
a small room which doesn't even see the sunlight.
We are veering away from the constitution now. Maharashtra elections, very important, very interesting indeed. But let me bring in Akhilesh Katia, national spokesperson of समाजवादी पार्टी. अखिलेश जी, आपके पार्टी के प्रवक्ता है मनोज यादव, उनका कहना है कि राहुल गांधी इसे केवल एक प्रतीक के रूप में यूज कर रहे हैं. तो अगर प्रतीक के रूप में किसी चीज को यूज कर रहे हैं तो उसको क्या पूरी तरह सैंक्टिटी उसकी नहीं होनी चाहिए? क्या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के सारे पन्ने उसमें नहीं होने चाहिए?
माधव साहब नमस्कार. जो मैं डिबेट 20 मिनट से सुन रहा हूं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता और नेताओं ने जो इस पे रखी बात, जो भारत का संविधान है ये 150 करोड़ लोगों की उम्मीद है और आने वाली पीढ़ियों का भविष्य उसमें छुपा हुआ है. माधव साहब, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों जो प्रवक्ता हैं और जो समर्थक हैं, आपने बात कही कि संविधान के कैसे कैसे धज्जियां उड़ाई कांग्रेस ने, किसने क्या किया. संविधान के अंदर हमारे नेता माननीय अखिलेश यादव जी हैं, बोलते रहे कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के शासनकाल में भारत का संविधान खतरे में है. माधव साहब, आपको जानकारी होगी जंतर मंतर पे भारतीय संविधान की प्रतियां जलाई गई और जिन लोगों ने प्रतियां जलाई उनके साथ क्या हुआ, ये मोदी साहब के शासनकाल में हुआ है. आपने भारत की जो संविधान की जो मूल भावना थी, एक बार माननीय KR नारायणन साहब जब महामहिम राष्ट्रपति थे तो ये बात आई थी संविधान को लेके, तो उन्होंने ये बात कही थी कि संविधान को जमीन पर उतारने वालों की नियत पे सवाल होना चाहिए, संविधान पे सवाल क्यों कर रहे हैं आप. आपने रिजर्वेशन जो जनरल कास्ट को दे दिया 10% और जो संविधान के पूरी तरह विपरीत था, क्योंकि संविधान में रिजर्वेशन सामाजिक और शैक्षणिक आधार पे पिछड़े लोगों के लिए था, कोई गरीबी उन्मूलन कार्यक्रम नहीं था. आपने संविधान को दरकिनार कर दिया. इस देश में जाति, धर्म, संप्रदाय की बातों को खत्म करके, मेरा माधव साहब कहने का सिर्फ एक मतलब है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के शासनकाल में जितने काम संविधान विरोधी हुए हैं, संविधान को खत्म करने का जो प्रयास बीजेपी के शासनकाल में हुआ है, मुझे नहीं लगता कि कभी भी हुआ होगा.
Okay, Sanju Verma, respond to him from the caste quotas, etc. Number of moves that he is alleging that are anti-constitution that have been done under the BJP regime. Please respond to him.
Let's be very clear about one thing. जो लोग यहाँ पर बैठकर बीजेपी को संविधान खतरे में है, भाजपा के और नरेंद्र मोदी के शासनकाल में संविधान की धज्जियां उड़ गई, लोकतंत्र की धज्जियां उड़ गई. लोकतंत्र की धज्जियां नहीं उड़ी हैं. लोगों ने आपका राजनीतिक वर्चस्व जो था बचा खुचा, उसकी धज्जियां उड़ा दी हैं. दैट इज प्रिसाइसली द रीजन 2022 में वोट शेयर बढ़ने के बावजूद समाजवादी पार्टी वाज कंटेन्ड एट जस्ट 111 सीट्स. आपने कहा था चाहे दुनिया में कुछ भी हो जाए, सूरज उगे ना उगे ईस्ट से, अस्त हो ना हो वेस्ट में, बट योगी आदित्यनाथ दोबारा मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनेंगे. हुआ क्या? फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन 37 years द इनकम्बेंट इन उत्तर प्रदेश बिकेम द चीफ मिनिस्टर. हुआ क्या हरियाणा में? फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम द इनकम्बेंट गवर्नमेंट केम बैक टू पावर फॉर द थर्ड टाइम इन अ रो, व्हिच हैज नेवर हैपेंड इन हरियाणा's हिस्ट्री. और अभी बात करते हैं, ये जो आप लोग बार बार संविधान की बात करते हो ना, आई से दैट इफ यू कैन नॉट take pride in your country when you are on foreign soil, there can be nothing more belittling than that. राहुल गांधी क्या करते हैं? कैम्ब्रिज में जाकर कहते हैं, why is the European Union quiet? Why is the United States of America quiet when a large chunk of democracy is coming undone in India? फिर ये जाकर लंदन में कहते हैं मोदी सरकार ने 2000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर चीन को दे दी, जबकि डिफेंस मिनिस्टर राजनाथ सिंह ने कहा 1 इंच नहीं दिया. एस जयशंकर एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर ने कहा 1 इंच नहीं दिया. यूनियन होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह ने कहा 1 इंच नहीं दिया. बट राहुल गांधी एक की बिना सुने अपनी खुद की टिप्पणियां करते हैं, वो भी विदेश में जाकर. फिर राहुल गांधी सितंबर 2024 में यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टेक्सास में और वर्जीनिया में 2 अलग अलग जगहों पर जाकर क्या कहते हैं? हिंदू खतरे में नहीं है, सिख खतरे में है. सिखों को गुरुद्वारे जाना नहीं मिलता, सिखों को कड़ा नहीं पहनने को मिलता, सिखों को टर्बन नहीं पहनने को मिलती. Engaging in brazen lies.
Quick response from Kapil. Kapil, it is the Congress that engages in false narratives. That's what Sanju Verma is saying. Respond to her very quickly.
Now, let me just say, I heard very patiently, and I just hope I will not be interrupted. These kind of arguments come when you think only from an empty mind, not from an open mind. And let me just coming back to the debate, the core of the issue. Madhav, we've all been to schools, we've all been to colleges and universities. We've always had, books to take notes, notebooks to take notes from the, book of the subject. Though, I would, take Mr. Fadnavis, comment with a pinch of a salt, because he was the same person who called Ajit Pawar jail mein chakki piecing. Now we all know he is campaigning, alongside Mr. Ajit Pawar. So I will give the same set of credence when he makes these kind of an allegation. But assuming for the sake of an argument that whatever he is saying is correct, even then it sounds absolutely illogical and irrational. Sometimes, yes, as Mr. Hegde said, that you have a symbolic book. It is an expensive book. It really costs. People who go to the court would realize this pocket edition costs about 900. Now, once a person is talking about the Constitution, the viewers or the listeners in the audience can always take notes. And I don't know, from where you get this logic that if a notebook is being given, which has a cover of the Constitution of India, to take notes, under what kind of, thought process, and how can you comprehend that someone has
okay, let Sujata Pandey comment on that. Sujata Pandey, it's a notebook to take notes, even if it has the cover of the Constitution. What is wrong with it? Please respond to what Mr. Madan is saying.
Madhav, I can only say that the family which took INS Vikrant for holiday can just equate Constitution with just another notebook. What can be more brazen than this? That Kapil Madan, being a lawyer himself, which his office has got an oath to swear by, is telling that any notebook note करने के लिए सिर्फ Constitution नाम लिख दिया. Kapil, we know that every sign, the Constitution, the emblem, the flag is a holy thing in our day-to-day life. We cannot just use such words as ki hua to hua. This is absolutely appalling.
Okay.
How could you just say you are printing Constitution of India, you are printing Samvidhan, and then you are giving blank books, and then you are showing the same book from the dais. So I am assuming that probably Rahul Gandhi's book is also empty, just like his empty promises.
All right, let's leave it there. In fact, I'd like to thank Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma stays with us for debate number 2, but Sujata Pandey, Sanjay Hegde, Advocate Kapil Madan and Akhilesh Katiyar, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on this debate this evening.